Ahoy, hoy, it's me.
Hey, baby.
You're hot.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
Cosmic soup.
Recording live podcast.
Nice.
My man.
What's up, fuckers? Why do you have my phone? Fuck you, that's why.
Nice. We're making a record in a garage.
I thought it was cool. I don't give a what you think, Jerry.
We are our cosmic soup.
It's about making records the way we used to fucking make records.
We become ingredients in the cosmic soup.
And everyone is all part of this beautiful cosmic love soup.
Shut the fuck up.
Now imagine dissipating into a cosmic soup.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Yeah! Hey, everybody! Fucker right in the pussy. Welcome to another episode in the new room. We're on episode 80 now.
What's up, you guys? What's up? Number 80, man. That's crazy.
I know, we're just cruising right along.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel so good with the literally like the TikToks and just the clips that I posted. I've had like 3 people reach out. They're like, dude, hey, I had that happen to me. And they're like,
good.
Hey, that's true. I would have punched that dog in the mouth.
Oh,
but yeah,
good.
It's awesome. I'm digging it. More clips coming. We got the Moon Knight clip coming out today, later on tonight, and we'll see what we do with this one. But yeah, we got a lot. We got Payson, we got Moon Knight, and tomorrow we're going to go see Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Yep, finally the time has come.
People are seeing it tonight, which I'm pretty upset about. But we couldn't find seats. Like they were sold so quickly, and if we wanted to sit afar from each other, it's like, well, what's the point of going to the movies together? So yeah, we're going tomorrow, but we are getting the matinee. We're doing we're like 11:30 or something.
Yeah, we're going with the cheap seats,
the early birds, the older peeps.
But no, I'm very excited. I finally, it's come, and I'm glad people are going out and seeing it. I'm glad it's sold out.
It's a good problem.
Yeah, I mean, from the little reviews that we've heard, it's amazing, and so that just makes us feel a little bit of relief knowing that we're going to see something amazing, that it doesn't fall short. But before we get into all that, how was your week?
My week has been very not productive in a sense. I started writing a new song that we talked about last week, and I'm finally working on my second verse of it. And last night we came here and we worked on another song that I had written a month or 2 ago called Loot. And dude, this is why I need, like, I can record some songs by myself, but there are some songs where if it weren't for having one more person in the room, it would have been completely different. So we're here last night and we're recording the track, and when we're actually listening to the beat back just to be like, oh, does this fit here?
Mm-hmm.
These levels sound good. Like, cool, let's record. Snoods just had this like random idea where he was like, hey, there's a part in the beat where it's almost just bass. It's you can only hear the bass. And he's like, what if you did some like, I don't think he said corn shit, but that's exactly what I thought when he said it. He's like, dude, you should fucking whisper this part. Like, whisper into the mic your, half of this verse, and then boom, come back in with aggressive vocals.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay, I've never done it, because what we initially did was, I know how it started. We were doing the hook.
Mm-hmm.
And as we did the hook, I did like three takes of aggressive, and then I did one, I call it like the hip hop vocal. Like, it's definitely more laid back. It's more like not pronunciation, but just more like the way that I vocally do it. It's a little more laxed. So once we do that, it sounds good together. And I'm like, oh, you know what? What if we did like a whisper take, and we just kind of put that in the background of this.
Yeah.
So like as you're hearing it, it's kind of hitting on all these different
Dynamics. Yeah.
yeah, because I saw a TikTok that was like, hey, if you ever do a chorus and you want like a full room kind of, you just fucking do like a normal one, aggressive one, and a whisper one, and then put that shit together.
The Def Leppard vocals.
So I tried it, man, and it came out killer. And then it just like snapped, and Snood's like, dude, you should do that for this part. So yeah, it came out really good. It was one of those moments, and it's funny because we haven't had it in a while. We haven't worked in like over a month together.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. I do the whisper, and it was just like it was the first take. It wasn't like, hey, we nailed it. Let's listen to it back. First take, I do it, and he plays it back, and we both are like, oh, holy shit! What just happened? That was crazy. Dude, we both like we couldn't even like stand still. We were like, what do we do with our hands right now? It's just one of those moments that was just, you could just see it plain as day. You're like, that's it. This is exactly how this song was supposed to go. So that was awesome. Again, we haven't had that in a while. So knocked out some vocals last night. KRXS came through, watched some of that recording session, and then me and him are working on our song together, which is coming out fucking
sweet,
dope. So two new songs in the works, and then this past week, besides just editing, I've literally just been kind of laying around working on I call it research. I've just been reading manga, and so now like I got a couple new names that I can use, and just doing the things. Like it gets to the point where I'm like, hey, I rap about anime and video games. I'm not even watching anime or playing video games, so I got to do a little. Like, I got to get some of these, references back up and shit like that. So yeah, again, it hasn't been crazy productive, but we've got some work done, and then of course we watched Moon Knight last night, which I'm excited about. But yeah, how was your week, man, dude?
It's been good, man. Just trying to keep busy and everything. I saw that KRXS here last night, and then there's some other people coming and going and stuff. I was gonna pop up, but I'm like, you guys are working on something or whatever. I can always catch up with you guys later, but it was good. So I just want to get right into the Payson show. We're gonna go a little bit backwards, and we'll talk about the show, and then we'll talk about the pizza.
Oh yeah.
The pizza is worth talking about. Because if anybody didn't notice, we didn't do a pizza episode last week. It's because we were in Payson eating pizza.
Yeah, we still ate pizza. That's the funny part.
We're still eating pizza. But but man, it was a great show, great turnout, great bands.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't emphasize enough how much fun it was, but I swear to God, dude, like everything sounded good, man. Everything was moving along. And then as soon as I start playing, I swear to God, I'm like, what the fuck am I even doing, dude? I suck so bad. And everybody,
like the sound or just like you performing?
I just felt like it took me like one or two songs to like get my bearings. And I feel like, it's because we tried something different. We went vocals through the karaoke PA, which the speakers were, I don't know, in the ceiling, outside, whatever.
They were up there.
And then I think the only thing going through the PA that I brought was the kick drum.
Really?
I think so, because
your guitars were in the amps and your bass.
Yeah. The guitars were just coming out of the amps. The drums, I think we just put a mic on the kick, and so that was cool. But I don't think like any vocals were going through the PA.
Nah.
And you know, dude, I don't know. The last time we played there, it was such a blur, but I feel like we brought like 4 speakers, so we had 2 facing this way and then 2 facing us. So I felt like it was like, you know, a real stage, like we had monitors and shit.
Yeah, last time you guys were running everything through your own PAs.
Yeah.
Because I know there were no wireless mics last time.
Correct. And so like, you know, we get up there and of course, you know, we're a little anxious and everything. And then we set up and I wasn't sure like how it would all work, you know? And then I was more concerned like you guys making sure you've got your in-ears and making sure like you guys sound good. Cause the last couple times you guys have played, you know, like it just one thing
Yeah,
or
the
another.
sound sucked.
Yeah, it's just like you could hear Z and not you, or you could hear you and not Z, and just little dumb shit. And so I'm like, I want to make sure this fucking sounds good.
Yeah.
So I think you guys sounded really fucking good. And then now it's time for like the bands. And when Genesis starts setting up their fucking huge stacks and stuff, I'm like, fuck,
Ooh,
dude.
shit.
Yeah. And then
But it still sounded good, man.
yeah, we used the wireless mics and the dude just kind of walked around and sang, and then I think the other guys just kind of did some screams, some backups and stuff. And yeah, maybe a little finessing here or there, but it sounded good. And then Gio and myself kind of would walk around and sounded good. No matter if you were in front of the stage, you were outside or on the patio, it sounded good.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, this is going to work, you know?
It's happening.
And then by the time it was like Blotter Vision and then TV Tragedy, I don't know if like everybody just turned up. Like the more like people drank, the more the volume got raised
Yeah.
or whatever. But I had to like be back by the sound booth just so during the song I'd bump up the mic, and then as soon as they were done playing, I'd have to pull it down
Shut it off.
or it would
Feedback.
feed back, because they were just like walking around, cupping the mic, you know, all the things that you shouldn't do, but you know, you're a lead singer, so you fucking do that shit. you
Yeah.
know? And so I'm like, all right, you know, whatever. So I was kind of stuck there, but I didn't mind it. And then people would come up and like try to fucking talk to me like while I was back there. And while TV Tragedy was playing, this fucking dude comes up to me, fucking long hair in a ponytail, fucking black teeth, you know, like, hey, he asked me if I worked there. And I'm like, no. He's like, do you own this place? No. And then he's like, yeah, you know, I just moved here from Washington and blah, 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 and stuff. He's like, and then he's like, man, the singer's really struggling to sing. And I'm like, well, I think they just scream anyway. You
Yeah.
know? And he's like, they're screaming their ass off and no one can hear them and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Yeah.
And so he like fucking was lingering, wouldn't leave me alone. And finally, like, you know, some of the other dudes kind of like fucking saw that I was getting annoyed. So they kind of talked to him and made him go away or whatever. But
yeah.
But it's
Linger.
tough. Yeah, because when you're up there, you know, fucking moshing around and stuff, it's hard to fucking hear because you've got the amp noise and the drums right in front of your face.
Yeah.
And the speakers are kind of like back away. So really the sweet spot was probably like,
Dude, it was by the pool table, man.
yeah,
Right
by
there.
the pool table or
right
at-
there.
in the patio. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Because the way the speakers came out, the speakers were in front of the vocalists. So like if you were in the front row, you were hearing his natural vocals more than you were hearing the
Yeah.
amplified vocals.
Sure.
But no, dude, Genesystem fucking killed it. They were great. Everyone, Blotter Vision, TV Tragedy, Squared, you guys were all good. I thought you guys sounded awesome. So,
Well, good. That makes me feel better because,
and everyone was going ape shit for y'all. I mean,
Oh,
everyone liked all the sets.
Yeah. Right. Because we almost had this like, okay, we can't fuck this up, like
Yeah, everyone's here.
everybody's here essentially for Geo, and so we just kind of like ripped through it. And as soon as I like kind of did some shouting or whatever, I'm like, I can't even fucking hear myself.
Yeah.
And then there's a part in one of the songs where I have to fucking sing. And like, I'm like, I'll do it, but I know like no one can fucking hear me.
Was
And
that your level, or was that just because like
Well,
the
I
way it
think
was set up?
here's the frustrating thing. Here's my only gripe.
Here's what
it's
grinds
that-
my gears.
It's that, like Bobby Lacey opened this show, dude, acoustic vocal, perfect way. And so like I'm there kind of adjusting things, Geo's there adjusting things. And then for you, like, we could kind of adjust levels like as we were going along. And then for Genesystem, now we've got full band. I mean, I'm kind of doing what I can. Geo's doing what he can, and then we even had Riley doing the kick and adjusting the amps and everything. And so essentially you've got like at least 3 people kind of adjusting. Hey, you turn up, you turn down, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so that's how it was for Blotter Vision. And then by like TV Tragedy, it's like, all right, we kind of got this dialed in. And then for Squared, now it's Riley playing, me playing, and Geo playing. So no one's fucking, hey, let's help them out, or let's.
Yeah.
And so
that makes sense, because the whole time there's literally like hands-on adjustments happening, but like during the main set, you are all the sound people.
And so then I'm like singing my little part, and I look up and I see Z back there like, like, I want to turn you up. I do, but I don't know what to fucking do.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, don't even fucking worry about it. That's it. I'm done singing,
Yeah.
But when I like,
well, we'll have to set it up like next time where if we have you guys obviously going on the last thing, because all we need is to know what's your mic, what's his mic, because there's only technically two of y'all sing. Silva does sing one of the songs, I guess now.
Yeah. It's mainly Silva and Geo and stuff, and I felt like the mics were getting distorted and everything too. I think we were just trying to push it too much, where it's like if everybody would have just turned down like a half notch, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for those shows, you have to really realize like the room you're playing for, it's not set up for the standard volume. So less is more, because I feel, even for myself, the way their wireless karaoke mics, I was having to emphasize and go a little harder, because one, they have like, the pop filter around it, which obviously makes a barrier for a reason.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because of that, you really have to kind of get in there.
Yeah.
And like, just through my own experiences of using shitty microphones, I do the I call it the Bob Barker thing.
Oh, sure.
I hold the mic at the butt.
Yeah.
So I can't cup it.
Yeah.
Like I literally, it looked dumb, except for like there's certain parts where I'll come up and I'll grab it with 2 hands, like a giant dick.
Yeah.
And I'll sing into it like that for like emphasizing moments. But yeah, I felt like and this is with in-ears. I don't know how the fuck you guys are performing with no system. You're relying just on monitors. Even when I have monitors in front of me, it's so hard to hear depending on the sound. Where are the other monitors set up? How fucking loud is that bass gonna kick? And this is without drums. Y'all playing with drums and shit. It's crazy, dude. Like
I know, like I almost feel like because as all shows do, we get kind of pushed back, and it's like, okay, let's hurry up and go. And it's like, hey, let's just do a jam, like a 2-minute, minute long fucking jam, just so we can kind of like, hey, how's it sound from this?
Dude, yeah, you guys
from
should
this
have
side?
your first song just
Yeah.
kind of be a literal, just like not freestyle, but like you said,
Instrumental
just fuck
type
around.
thing. Yeah. And but other than that, like, it was cool. We definitely had some tricks up our sleeve, and I feel like everything went good, dude. We did a little fucking cover. People got a kick out of. We brought some other bass players up, so then I got a nice little break.
Yeah.
And
Did
that
you
was-
go and adjust the levels then?
No,
You're like,
I
"It's
just
over."
stood there and I'm like, let's see how this fucking sounds. And it sounded good. And so
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
sounded
all right,
fun.
that makes me feel a little bit better, that I'm not up there, because at first I thought like, oh fuck, dude, like I'm too loud.
Yeah.
And then so I had to turn my amp down a little bit just so I could hear fucking Silva and Gio's guitar, because that's, especially for the Sublime song, like I'm like locked in with Tyler, and so we can be fucking asshole tight,
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was cool. So fuck, dude, by the time you get done and you gotta fucking load everything up, and everybody just wants to fucking linger and shit. A lot of people just left right away. Some people stayed the night there. Some people went camping. Some people were like, I gotta get the fuck home.
Yeah.
And so we had to load everything up and then fucking hit the road. And then you were out like a light. And then fucking
immediately.
Z's talking my ear off about.
Is he talking about his lady?
Yeah, he was. He was, dude. And
Yeah, man. That's the typical convo, man. It's so funny. I knew as soon as like, well, a couple of things. So from my side, pace and show.
Yeah.
Great write up. I love a good road trip, but not like a Vegas road trip. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Like, because you can go up to Mount Lemon, or to like even like fucking what the fuck's it called? The Mongolin Rim.
Yeah.
That are all north of here, about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive.
Mhm.
You can hit some pretty prime spots in 2 hours. My son lives an hour and a half away in Tucson. Payson's hour and a half drive, up, northwest or whatever the fuck. So to me, that's a perfect amount of time of like, hey, we're not going to need to take breaks for gas.
Right.
We're not going to need to take breaks to use the restroom. We can bring snacks, but
Yeah.
like if we don't eat this whole time,
Right.
it'll be fine. Depending on the car, it's just enough time to smoke like a bowl or a cigarette, and it'd be like, hey, we don't need to keep smoking. Like
Right.
just enough. Like it's a long enough trip to be like, hey, we're out here. We can't just turn around. We're a decent amount of ways away, but at the same time, we're seeing something new. We're listening to music. Z's playing a stupid fucking Fallout game on his
Yep.
Switch, and it's just a good time to have when you're like, man, this would really suck by myself.
Yeah.
Like this is not insane, but like if I was alone, I'd be like, fuck, I wish I was just there already.
I
So
know.
it's a cool drive up. It definitely again helps having peeps with you. When we get up there, we'll say pizza for right after, but Payson always. Well, I mean, I've been there twice, so always is a weird way to phrase it, but each time it always kind of shocks me. Like, holy shit, dude! There's a whole town up here,
Yeah.
whole little
And
city.
like, oh, we just dropped fucking 10 degrees.
Oh yeah, that's what I learned last time, which I should have known because it was late, like, technically still winter ish.
Yeah.
But this time I wore a tank top and shorts specifically because I'm like, dude, it's kind of warm. It's gonna be bands performing, I'm performing. We're gonna be drinking. I'm gonna probably get a little hot. And granted, I never was once like, shit, I wish I had a fucking sweater.
Right.
But at the same time, I was like, I could have worn a t-shirt. I could have totally worn a t-shirt.
Yeah, once we got there, it was very nice. But as it got later, I'm like, I feel like I need to put on a little
Put on my jacket.
Yeah, a thin sweater.
Yeah.
But
A shawl, if you will.
yeah, you know, especially because everybody just like wants to fucking hang out outside and stuff. But
Yeah, a bunch of smokers.
I know it's weird. It's like almost like you're in this fucking thing, and then it gets kind of packed, and you're like, God, I kind of want to get away from everybody.
Yeah.
And
But I still
just-
want to see the show
Yeah.
because so with my performance, we started off with 2 of my songs, and then I was going to end with 1 of my songs.
Mhm.
So Z already knows that he's got 2 songs before he has to come on. He's still in his like it's still an infancy stage to me.
Yeah.
He's only got like maybe 15 shows, tops 20 under his belt right now. So he's still learning, still developing his stage presence, his rituals, how he approaches a show. He's still just winging it. You know, he's just
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
He'll eat a fucking, whole pizza. I didn't want to eat a whole pizza. I say whole pizza, it was tiny, but it was still a lot of food. Usually I don't eat anything. So to have that much compared to 0 was a lot. So I don't eat, I don't drink. I try not to smoke, but with these kinds of shows, you can kind of afford to be like, a little loose.
Right.
When he's with me, it's a lot easier than if it was just 25 minutes of me by myself, just up there waiting for maybe applause. So we get up, Z's having a drink. I'm ready to hit the stage. And once I hear Bobby, once I hear his set and how they sound, because I was roaming too,
Yeah.
but I wasn't doing nothing. I was just roaming because I was smoking.
Right.
I was smoking in the back patio by the pool table. Then I would grab a beer. Then I'd grab some water, and then I'd go hang out in the other patio because I wanted to hear the sound. I wanted to see
Right,
what was going on.
exactly.
And it sounded good. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, if that's how good it sounds acoustic, my set's not too crazy. Like, it's not insane as far as the instrumentals. So it should be relatively similar. You should be able to hear me. I shouldn't have to strain, things along the lines like that. I finally get going, and there's a brief moment where I have my in-ears in, and I'm rapping, and I'm like, can anybody hear me?
Right. Right.
Can anyone hear? Am I rapping too loud? Am I not
Right.
rapping loud enough? And that's when it's like, not only am I just like trying to say the words, because this is where Z's kind of at right now too. You can just sing the words and it's going to come out, fine. But it's performing it. It's
Mhm.
letting
Yeah.
doing a little extra because you're in front of people, or cutting
Yeah, a
one
little
word out so
stage
you can
presence.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm rapping and I'm like, because I'm so in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if they hear me. So I'm trying to just like focus, like hit the words, hit the syllables, hit it, boom, boom, boom. And at one point I'm like, if they can't, I'm not gonna stop right now.
Right.
And this is all millisecond,
Oh, I know.
times. Like in
Yeah.
like time freezes for a second. I'm like, what should I do right now? So I decide, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care if they can hear me or if they can't. I'm going to just lean into my performance, then focus on hitting every single word perfectly. And what sucks too is the very first song. So like I started off with Fleet Street, new song coming out here soon on my new EP. There was a delay, not with the mic, but the in-ears. So by the like I could hear the song in the speakers, but in the in-ears, it came like, I'm talking like
Oh wow.
1 second. Just 1 second. But so I start the song off, it says performing 3 nights a week. I didn't hear the cue in for when I say performing. So I
Ah.
started at 3 nights a week and getting 4 hours of sleep. But it's because I was like, wait, I'm like,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh shit. Boom. So again, split second, but instantly caught myself and I started performing. But then that added into like the anxiety of like, fuck, that was on delay. Am I on a delay?
Right.
Am I not on beat? Like, and again, it's weird because again, we're not working with a venue. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? It's a
right.
karaoke bar, karaoke dive bar. When I went to turn up my in-ears, it had more feedback than the song. So I could only keep it at a certain length. But it wasn't bad enough to be like, let's just not use these, you
Right,
know?
yeah.
So then we get into the one of our songs, and I forget what song it was. I think it was I don't even think it was Cold in the Desert. I don't even remember what song it was, but Z fucked up
Yeah.
and he didn't say his first word. So I came in with him to remind him. But again, I'm like, that's what happens when you drink a beer before the set, dude. Like, that's one of those things that will happen. Granted, I also had issues with my in-ears as well. So I get it. But overall, the performance, in my opinion, went okay. I try not to get too crazy if I know the crowd's just kind of like sitting there. Like, I will jump around and get, dumb with it. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay. Ain't no one really vibing with this. They're enjoying it, or maybe they respect it, but no one's like, fuck yeah, dude. So then
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, let me just tone it down
Yeah.
and let me play for my crowd. Because I'm a huge thing of like, if there's no one there or 1,000, I'm gonna have fun.
Oh, of course.
But I'm gonna have way more fun feeling out the crowd than just go like in people's faces. Like, because again, there was like a Mexican family there. There was a cowboy. There were some
Oh,
college
yeah.
chicks. Like, there was a mix of people
Yeah.
that were 100% not coming to the local punk show to see us. Like, they did not anticipate what we were coming with. Not only did I start out with rap, then we went into like pop punk, which is, definitely a less energy than the rest of the set. But I had a good time. I think enough people liked it. I don't think it was for everyone, but there were enough people that came up to me after the set, and even other people in the rest of the bands that were like, "Hey, that was fucking cool, man."
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
mean,
like, "Hey, that's enough for me."
it's tough because you don't know like how many of these people are, because I mean they're all locals. They're all, but you don't know like how many people want there to be a show and how many people are like, God damn it, there's a show
Shit,
here.
there's a show tonight. No,
Yeah.
that's what I felt like half of the audience was. Half of them were
When you
literally
were-
like,
when you were playing. Yeah.
yeah, because towards like the end, it was just people there to
Yeah.
see the show. So that's one tough thing with introing. But honestly, I think I would have rather performed where we did compared to later, because although the people that we performed for maybe weren't expecting a show, I think that was more digestible for them than just a straight punk set.
Yeah.
Like, just like in your face, like all crazy intense.
Yeah.
And also like vice versa. I don't know if I would have played, where Blotter Vision did, if all the bands would have been
Or if
into
they've
it.
been like, oh, let's go out and smoke.
Exactly. Where it'd been like, I'd rather perform for the Mexican family than watch the punk scene leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
Because I get it. It's not like I'm never going to be like, oh no, everyone can like this. It's a
Yeah.
possibility, but I know, like, hey man, I get it.
because I
It's
even was
not-
like
it's not
saying
for
to you
everyone.
guys, like after all right, you guys are done, let's go to the car, fucking put your shit away. It's like, at least now you guys are done.
Yeah,
Now you
that's the
can
best
fucking
part.
drink, whatever,
Enjoy myself.
socialize. Yeah. I think would have been a nice icing on the cake is if Square did have a song ready that you could come up and jump up and
Yeah,
like do
and
a
that's
verse or
that's
something.
definitely, I think, the next step is like incorporating one song into the set that will be like, hey guys, remember me? And then like when you see me next,
exactly.
it's
And
like,
then,
hey, you're the guy that's on the Squared song.
yeah, and then you could fucking get in people's faces, jump up and down, and then it's like no one's gonna leave because you're there for a fucking verse or whatever.
Yeah, no,
Um,
exactly. And I have like So I cut one song from the set. Well, I cut 2 songs from the set. One was on spectrums of like where I think the bar liked. One was gonna be real low. Like one was like a love song.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we can get away with some stuff, especially because like Pool Parties and 40s and Xbox One, they are literally just skateboard punk songs.
Oh yeah.
Those are one of the songs anyone could like this. It's so common and basic. You're like, yeah, I've eaten pizza. I know what video games are. So the one song was like it's a love song. It sucks for Z because it's his song. So I cut his song, and then I cut my song, my new track, Gets a Good 10 Show, coming out here soon. And only because, again, if I would have done that song, I would have been in that Mexican family's face, taking their hat, been like, Gets a Good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? They don't need this. They don't need everyone, because at that point too, halfway through the set, the people that were kind of digging it went outside. So I'm like, okay, the people watching right now do not want to watch us. They don't want to lose their seat. The people that were even remotely interested, they left. So I'm like, we're done. We're good. We did enough. People know enough. If they want more, we will have more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun to do. I'm talking like, at least 6 different people came up to me afterwards and was like, dude, that was fucking good.
Yeah.
So that was enough for me. And yeah, as soon as we got in the car, I knew, I'm like, I'm going to bed. There's no way.
Oh yeah.
There's no way I'm making this, dude. Because me and Z had like fucking 6 fucking kilt lifters, dude.
Yeah,
we were twisted.
I know. And then like for me, just because like I fucking got there and then I'm like, all right, now we gotta start setting up and stuff. And so like I was already like feeling anxious, and like I'm like, I'll let myself have a 1 beer. And then like I had 1 beer and I'm like, I need another one just to fucking settle down a little bit. But you
were drinking some Lagunitas, dude. That's one of my go-tos.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If they don't, kilt lifters, like I got made fun of when we were like 22 or something. We were in Tempe drinking at Cornish, Casey Moore's. And we were there celebrating my buddy's birthday. And these girls were like, what are you guys drinking? Because it looked like water. Yeah. And we're like, fucking Budweiser or something like that. They're like, okay, I didn't know you guys were women too. I'm like, oh shit, dude.
Michelob Ultra. I'm watching my calories.
And they're like, dude, why are you drinking? Are you from Arizona? I'm like, yeah. They're like, get rid of that. Like, no, you need to drink Kilt Lifter. And
wow.
Like, what the fuck is Kilt Lifter, dude? And then they're like, barkeep. They were the men at this point. They were like, we need 3 Kilt Lifters for these ladies. So they brought us to us. And it was one of those moments where we drank it and we were like, oh,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That night ended with me losing my tie.
Yeah.
I don't know if one of them wore it off Rambo style, but yeah. So ever since then, I can't. If it's available, I have to drink Kilt Lifter. But Lagunitas a very good second coming up.
Yep. I don't mind the taste of pine needles. I'm IPA all the way.
To me, I'm like, it kind of like IPA tastes like trees, and then White Claws taste like hairspray. And I'm like, sometimes I like hairspray, but I'll drink a tree.
Oh yeah,
I'll drink a tree. Dude.
Especially if like you get some citrusy ones where you're like, oh, now it's a grapefruit tree.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I like there's so many, but there's it's like in Voodoo Ranger.
Yep.
They make some they make some really strange ones that I'm a fan of. But anyways, so Pace and Show overall, great.
Yeah, overall, it was great. I thought everybody did such a good job.
Amazing turnout.
For me.
No, you did good, dude. Because I was watching you, but I know exactly what you're talking about. The one part where we could hear you, but we couldn't hear you as much as everyone else.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like you were like,
Right. Okay.
He's like,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of just you singing by yourself. So I was like, okay, can hear this. Okay, so Pizza Factory.
Pizza Factory.
Recommended by Gio. Gio squared himself.
Exactly. And last time we played and paced it, Guyver did not get to eat pizza.
Oh, yeah, dude. Trust. You would have seen me passed out if we didn't get that pizza, I would have been passed out
And
at
so
the bar.
I'm like, you know what? We can be late. We can push it back.
Half the people
an
weren't
hour.
even fucking
Oh, I know.
there, dude.
Luckily, it's like we get there, it's fucking busy as shit, dude. Dinner time.
None of our friends.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Place is packed. You know.
Locals.
The pizza place was packed.
Yeah.
So there's like a 30-minute wait or 20-minute wait, and we're like, oh shit. And then I look, and they're all still at the fucking camping spot, and so I'm like, we're good, dude.
And it's like, it's one of those spots that you can tell that people are willing to wait because it's that good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh shit, whoa, this is a giant pizza spot. It was like, oh my God, there's like nowhere to sit. A couple video games, you know, I would call it an arcade, but it wasn't like its own designated room. It was just like, think of like a miniature Peter Piper and then cut that in half.
Yeah.
And that's what this place was. But I knew that it was good because how many people they had working compared to how many people were eating. Dude, they had a small fucking assembly line.
Oh, yeah.
There was like, no joke, 10, 15 people just making the food. Either cutting the food, prepping it, serving people, taking cash, making ingredients, throwing it in the oven. Like, there were so many people in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It was nuts. And I'm like, you know what? There's literally a line of people behind us now. Yeah, I'll wait 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And this was a very essential point in the conversation. I'm like, hey, Z, do you want to split a mini pizza? I wanted to slice a pizza.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like to eat at all before shows.
Right.
But I got to try something.
Yeah, and it's like, and then do we get a thing, and then it's leftover? It's just sitting in the car for 6 hours.
Yeah, because I didn't want a full pizza. Even if we split, all three of us, a full pizza, that's 8 slices, you know,
right,
2.5 each, whatever. I didn't want that much pizza for myself, let alone Z's. I don't want Z to eat 4 slices of pizza before he goes on fucking stage. And then, you know, it did not make sense to get a whole pie.
Right.
So I decide, let's split a mini.
Yeah.
Z, he's a fucking monster. He's like, no, dude, I need my own pizza.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Again, he's still finding his shit. I think that pizza and that beer were the reason he fucked up on the set. But he'll learn. So I order my own mini pepperoni. This is, again, very essential mistake I made. I should have got a Hawaiian because Z did, and it looked amazing. It looked great. And this is for all the people out there who are going to say pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Well, your opinion does not matter.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry that you have no, relevance to this conversation. But yeah, that was my one mistake. But I was willing to sacrifice the time. What did you get? You got a Supreme?
Dude, yeah. So we're looking at the menu, and you just went strictly pepperoni pizza, which is cool.
I think it's a classic move.
Well,
like,
yeah.
If your pep's good,
yeah,
I'm coming back and I'm trying your other shit.
If we're going by rules of the fucking contest, then we're just eating pepperoni pizza, everywhere else.
Yeah.
But Z went Hawaiian. I didn't know he was doing that, but I'm looking, and it was like the Pizza Factory special or something. So I'm like, well, I'm at the Pizza Factory, so give me the fucking special or whatever. And it was like everything, like veggie wise on it: pepperoni, mushrooms, onions, peppers.
I love how you're like, it was everything veggie, pepperoni.
Yeah.
So it's a classic Supreme. So did it have sausage?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. To me, a classic Supreme,
yeah,
pepperoni, sausage, mushroom, green pepper, red onion, and olives.
Yeah, no
That's-
olives.
No olives?
No.
Wow.
I
Okay.
know.
Wow. I'm
That's pro-
shocked.
I'm not an olive guy, so that's probably why I picked it. But anyway, it was really, really good. And this was the first time that we got like a pizza like hot out the
Hot and
oven,
ready.
brought to us, you know.
Still steaming. I was
Still
gonna take a
steaming.
bite and I was like, no,
Yeah.
no. I literally had to be
stringy
like,
cheese, just like Gio wanted.
Gio got the cheese. He wasn't there, but we got it for him. I made an executive decision.
Yeah.
I was like, I could take a bite right now
No.
and it'll probably be pretty good,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna burn the fuck out of my mouth right before going on stage. No, I'll do it after. You know, if I was just here to watch, fuck it, I'll take the gamble. But no way before going. And that's also too why I don't like to eat before a show. There's so many things that can happen.
Oh yeah.
Whether it having something in your teeth,
you got
to
pizza
bite in your
sauce on your
tongue,
shirt. Yeah.
everything from eating before a show, and it could even just be like the nerves that come because I get really bad nerves.
Yeah.
It'll make me throw up, and if I just dry heave compared to throwing up a full pizza, I'd rather dry heave. You know, so tell me this: what did that Supreme Pizza run you though? Because you got like 6 more toppings.
Right. That's a
did.
good question. You know, I also went drink. You guys didn't go drink because you're crazy madmen.
I'm just again, dude. When it comes to money and food, I'd rather ask for a water cup and
Yeah.
buy a beer at the bar
Yeah.
than get a soda at the pizza shop. But that's just because I'm an alcoholic.
Right.
So I'm thinking
That's true.
10
Yeah.
10 drinks
10
ahead.
steps ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say, because we all got personal pizzas, I want to say it was maybe,
8 inches, by the way. 8
Yeah.
inches were the personal pizza sizes.
I don't know. It was probably, what was yours? 10?
Mine was $12.
Okay. Then mine was like 14.
I should have gone.
Yeah.
I should have gone more.
Yeah.
Because then again, if I'm spending more than $10 on a pizza, I'll spend another $1 or $2 to get more shit.
Yeah.
But I already felt like as soon as I saw the sizes that they had hung up, I knew they didn't have slices. But I'm like, hey, do y'all got slices? They're like, no, bitch.
Get out of here.
I'm like, okay, I'll take your
Dude,
smallest
I was looking
pizza.
up and I'm like, should we just get a family special? You know, because it was like a fucking large pizza, salads, drinks,
Fucking wings. So yeah, honestly, like next time
it was
we
like
go,
it was like a family special for like $22 or something.
so next time we go out,
Yeah.
we'll game plan. Well, that's the thing too. There was no menu. Like you
Right.
had to be like
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
So next time we're not gonna be peer pressured. We're gonna be like, hey, let's take a moment. Think about it.
Let's take a
We can
seat.
pay
Yeah.
$36 together or 20
Yeah.
and get
A
pizza,
lot,
some
yeah.
salad, some drinks.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do because with as much hiccups came up during my set and just like the overall, I don't know, like outcome, mine was definitely not the best, but I would definitely do another show there.
Oh yeah.
So next time we go, we'll know. We'll be doing the fucking family special. I'm getting wings. So this is the last thing on the pizza. Well, no, we gotta rate it. I want to
Yeah.
rate it. If you're a long time listener of our little pizza challenge, if you're 4 weeks into our pizza challenge, I always order a side of ranch,
Uh-huh.
a side of mild sauce or wing sauce, anything close to mild sauce for wings, and then I ask for cheese and peppers. This time was the first time that we utilized the extra
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
will say my first slice, I ate that shit raw.
Yeah.
I didn't put nothing
Raw
on it.
dogged it.
I just tasted it. Going off of looks, what would you give the pizza? And I will say it won't be in the live podcast, but I have photos that I'm going to put in the
Yeah.
clips. So stay tuned for the clips. right now you'll be seeing my pepperoni pizza, the Hawaiian pizza, and your supreme pizza.
Yeah.
Going off of just visuals alone, what do you rate it?
Visuals alone, like they did not skimp. It was jam packed, full of stuff, and so
I'd argue too much.
oh yeah,
because
it was falling. It was falling apart. It was
just
was a
half of it
mess.
didn't look cooked though. It looked like they added it after they fucking
Right.
made the pizza, which was weird. But there was so much. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck if it's cooked or not, dude. There's so much shit on this.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Like, I think the onions and
The
they
onions were not cooked. They
they
just
put
threw
on
that
after.
shit on
Yeah.
after, which is insane to me.
yeah, which is like, oh, okay. So you kind of get that blend of,
Like that crunch, that
Yeah.
raw onion crunch.
yeah, maybe they like
Maybe they fucked up and forgot and
threw
just
them
like,
on there and then they just let it go through like real quick,
yeah.
But anyways, I would say looks wise, it was jam packed, fucking cooked perfectly.
I love
I ha-
jam packed. I love the reference or the
Yeah.
phrase jam packed.
I have to say it was a 10 out of 10.
Okay, damn.
saying
you
it.
you hit the Barrows number. Okay. To me, and I'm considering all
Right.
3 pizzas,
Yeah.
not just my own. I'm going 9 out of 10. And the only reason why it does not reach the perfect, it was a little thin.
Okay.
A little
Okay.
thin. But that fucking crust, dude,
Yeah.
was crazy. And I'll say this. You know why it's a 9 out of 10 too?
And they
And
had
this is
big
just-
pepperonis too.
Big O peps, and a lot. They I don't know if this is towards visuals, but it definitely tied into taste. They didn't have cornmeal. So that's a huge
Right,
thing for me. There's
yeah.
no cornmeal, but without it, it still got a 9.
Yeah.
Now it was almost perfect.
Yeah.
Almost perfect. And again, if it would have been thicker, I would give it a 10 out of 10
Yeah.
without the cornmeal.
Yeah.
I think either or, thicker or more or cornmeal, 10 out of 10. But just that one thing, that's the defining factor between, you know,
Yeah.
the perfect pie and not. But taste wise, what are you thinking?
Now, taste wise, like I made a comment while we were there. Like, as soon as we were eating, I'm like, wow, if this pizza was in any of the weeks, it definitely would have won week 1 because those were all the shitty pizzas.
Yeah.
Then week 2, we had California Pizza Kitchen.
I think it would have been a hairline
Yeah.
difference between the two. And
Yeah,
this is
it
the
w-
one thing I'll say though.
It might not have won week 2, but definitely week 3.
Yeah, no, 100% week 3 would have won. The difference between I can't tell if it would have won over California is because we ate this hot,
Yeah.
like steaming,
yeah.
and I can't tell what it would have been
Right.
if it had been sitting there for just even an extra 10, 15 minutes.
Sure.
So I can't definitively say this would have 100% won, but it could have easily. It could
Yeah.
have. I'm not sure yet. But yeah. So Pizza Factory, Payson, Arizona, one of the best pizzas I've ever had.
Yeah. Just drive up there right now and get some.
Yeah. So taste, what did you give?
I want to say taste. It was a 9.
Giving it a 9 as well.
Yeah.
There was grease, but not a lot. There was a lot of ingredients. The ratio was great. It wasn't burnt. The crust was amazing. It just wasn't thick enough for me. And that's just personal. You know, that's my own individual taste. But I know that if there's an option and I didn't see it, if they made like a deep dish or a
Oh, sure.
pan pizza,
Yeah.
because these are all cooked on those stupid plates.
Mhm.
They're just like, you know, bacon plates. If we had a pan pizza, just a little bit thicker crust, a little bit thicker dough, man,
Yeah.
that shit would be deadly. But yeah, I put this high up there.
I
This
know.
is definitely one of
know,
the
all this talk is
supreme pizzas.
making me hungry. I want one right now, but I was the only lady that couldn't finish their personal pizza, so I brought a piece home.
But you had so much, dude.
I know.
There's
I know.
so much on that.
Yeah. And so I ate it the next day and it was still good.
And I think that's a telltale sign.
Yeah.
How's it taste tomorrow?
Yeah. I'm like, God damn,
'Cause
I
that's
should
a
have got
huge thing.
another one just to bring home.
No, honestly, I'm like, yeah, when's the next show, dude?
Yeah.
I want to go fucking eat some more pizza. But yeah, it was great. I'm excited to go back.
Yeah, we'll have to set something up there again because they all loved us. You know, they took care of us at the Spur Bar. You know, I think I felt bad because when we got there, Charles was like by himself, and there'd be like people that would just jump back there and like start washing dishes and stuff, but they were just you know,
Well, one
drinkers.
dude, well, there was a cowboy dude. He talked to me. So this guy was like hitting on these girls like the whole night. And I noticed him because like he he was the only guy that was wearing a cowboy hat that I was like, oh, that's like a choice. Like that's
Yeah.
not like, because there was a full on like a Mexican dad, a Mexican mom, and an older Mexican son who were like, I could not tell if they were enjoying themselves or were just like doing that thing that like you know a metalhead would do at like a pop punk show where he's just like just
Yeah.
like pretending to have fun, but it's like, yeah, fuck these guys. Like these guys suck. So they were drinking a lot.
Oh yeah, because there's footage of Blotter Vision where he puts his cowboy hat on Bill and Bill's singing with
No
the
way.
and stuff. Yeah.
That's fucking
And
funny.
then he gives it back. He's like, I'm so sorry. That thing is so sweaty now.
So there's this one guy, he's wearing a cowboy hat, he's hitting on these girls, and I do my set, and afterwards I'm chilling by the pool table and I'm waiting to get a drink. And dude, shout out to all the short people because it takes so long for them to see me
Yeah.
because it looks like I'm sitting down, but I am standing up. Like I'm a full human length, and they're like, oh, he's sitting down. So unless I'm like, hey, or I have like an empty beer in my hand, like they just don't see me.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for my beer, and this dude comes up and he's like, yo, that was great. I loved it. How do I find more of your stuff? So I share my info. And he's like, yeah, I used to bartend here. But now I do something else or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then like cut to 30 minutes later, he's behind the bar again, cleaning shit and
Yeah.
doing stuff. I'm like, last time I was here, there was like 2, if not 3 people there. And then again, I don't know what happened as far as confusion, but I asked Charles, right?
Yeah.
Charles. I asked I'm like, hey dude, Gio last time he said that there was like
A bar
Bi-
tab.
there was
I mean,
band
a
beers
yeah,
or
band
or
tab.
or a tab. I'm performing tonight. Unlike last time, Gio gave me his.
Yeah.
So I wasn't performing, but it was pretty much like, hey, if Gio was drinking, this is going on his tab. So I go up, I'm like, hey, we're performing tonight. You know, what's are there band beers? Like, are there any free beers for performance? If not, that's fine. But we just want to know before we order drinks if because we're here performing, there's anything like that. And he's like, yeah. Let me just get a card for the tab and then I'll add it or whatever and divide it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I'm completely sober at this time.
Yeah.
This is just to get Z his beer.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hey, instead of paying for one, let me see if we get some beer for performing.
Yeah.
So he's like, cool. What do you want? Guilt Lifter, give him the beer. And then after the show, we go again. And I'm like, hey, are we we performed as a duo. Do I get added onto his tab or should I make my own? I'm not sure what will be easier for you, but let's let's go ahead and make sure to add that shit to it. And he he tells me, yeah, I'll just let you know
Yeah. When you're done.
when you're done. Like I'll let you know when the cutoff is. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And so performance is over. Me and Z have 3 beers each on top of that, and we're drinking Kilt Lifters, so we're kind of buzzing.
Yeah.
And Z's freaking out, and we're both being very cautious because we have very little money.
Right.
And we get to the point where like, dude, before we get another beer, let's just ask, what's the number? Like,
Yeah, where are we at?
where are we at?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking, dude, there's 2 of us. There's typically 4, if not 5 members in a band. And last time we had Crack Rabbit and Squared without Geo drinking. There's still 9 people pretty much fucking on a tab and they're running it up. So I'm like, dude, there's 2 of us. Like, we are half of a regular band and, you know, they saw us perform, so they know what's happening. So we asked there was like a blonde girl that was working at one point, and I was like, hey, can you ask how many beers we get on the bar tab for performing before we have to start paying so we know when to stop? And she's like, yeah. And she goes, she asks, completely forgets.
Yeah.
Literally to the point where Charles comes back, and he's like, hey, what do you want? I'm like, hey, I asked your like assistant or whatever, how many beers do we get for performing for free? And he's like, oh, I'll let you know. And I'm like, okay, well then I'll take 2 more beers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fine. Then the end of the night comes and they're just like, it's gonna be $90.
God.
And we're just like, but you never told us that we weren't on the tab. Like, you never told us when our thing ran up, which again, even if it was like the 8th beer and then on, there's no way that we drank 90 beers after the tab. So I'm like, what's going on? And at this point, I'm already buzzing. So I'm like, yo, you know what? Geo gave me cash for the show. I'm like, Z, just this is mine. Just take this, pay the rest, and then I'll give you money when we get back to the spot. So that's the only thing that I was like, I feel like I've asked enough times.
No, it was
what should have happened, and no one told me anything to the point where I'm like,
it was
dude, if we didn't get paid, I don't know how the fuck I was gonna pay for that goddamn bar tab.
no
So-
shit. Yeah, it was weird because the first time we played there, it was just, you know, Squared and Crack Rabbit, and the way that it happened, where it's like we're almost combined because Riley's in both, and then I played in both. so
Yeah.
so they
There was,
probably
like-
didn't have to do shit, you know, other than like fucking Tyler and, you know, maybe Rose or whatever that drank for the whole band. But anyways, so I don't think we got paid last time or anything, but that's neither here nor there. I felt like this time, because they're like, oh, you know, if it's fucking gonna be crowded or whatever, if there was more people working, like actually really working, not just washing dishes and stuff, I think more people would have drank because they could have got a beer faster, and there wouldn't been that confusion, you know, because when you've got, you know, everybody saying they're in the fucking band and stuff, it's like you almost need to get just a piece of paper and
Wristbands or something.
yeah, and like, okay, here's everybody gets 2 tickets, and then Geo could give his tickets to somebody else,
Exactly.
or because I guess because I'm lucky or whatever, Sean bought my beers, so if I would have known that, I would have been like, hey, Charles, take whatever my beers were. Maybe it's 2,
yeah.
maybe it's $10. I don't know.
Again, and that's the thing, and it's no shade or nothing against the bar. I feel I did enough to ask, like,
Yeah.
someone should have told me by now that
Right.
I
And
need to
not-
be paying for this.
Don't tell me, oh, I'll let you know, and then charge me full price for everything.
Yeah. And again, I was like, I just felt like,
There's not
Maybe-
even a discount on this.
yeah, I was like, maybe I need to word this different. I'm like, hey, how many beers are you giving me free?
Right. What's my tab looking like?
But he was so busy, dude.
I know,
That's
what
why I'm like,
fucking sucks because
I'm like, you know what, dude, he deserves it.
on
Give
like,
him the money, but I just felt bad because like me and Z both were like, we barely were able to make it out of that bar alive. Only because again, I asked 3 times. I'm like, if I ask again, I feel like they're gonna hit me. Like,
yeah.
I feel like they're gonna cut us off if I ask one more time. But in general, the show went great.
I mean, it's
I
probably
digged it.
good that they were busy because if it wasn't, I probably would have gotten myself another beer or two, which probably
Would have to go camping.
I know, which would have been good. But no, I was good driving. It's just fucking so dark coming
so
back.
dark, dude. And you go so fast at certain points.
Yeah, next thing I know, I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, I'm going 80. And I'll tell you something funny and then we'll move on. So you pass out immediately. Finally, Z passes out. And like, it was so funny. Like, you guys were talking. You're like, why'd you just give me a cigarette? I didn't just give you a cigarette, fool. And then
In
I'm
our
like,
sleep?
No.
Oh.
You guys talking to each other, and I'm like, Z, yes, you lit up a cigarette and then gave it to Guyver.
Oh my God.
And so finally, like, he's talking to me about whatever, and then he passes out. And so I'm like, kind of like, well, good, because now he's not talking to me.
Like a focus.
But yeah, I could focus, but now it's like I don't want to like turn up the music or roll down the windows or anything. So it was like just a fucking hour of just. Well,
nah, dude, you should have fucking rolled down that window or put something on.
Here we go. Yeah, no, it's all good. But I don't know when TV Tragedy or when Chris left, but they left like pretty much right after Square got done playing.
Yeah.
And then we still had to like they loaded up, we loaded up our stuff. And then, say goodbye to everybody and, make sure we got everything. Everybody's good.
Yeah.
So finally we're driving. Once we hit, we're taking the Beeline Highway, the 87 Country Club, whatever you want to call it. Finally, once I get to the 202, I see like other cars the whole time.
Nothing.
No cars.
Damn.
And so I'm like, it's kind of nice because you can go fast, but you're like, well, I don't want to have a fucking pig be parked somewhere clocking me.
Yeah.
So you're still like kind of trying to be careful.
Yeah.
Finally, I'm like, oh, fuck, another car. And it's Chris.
What?
And I'm like, how
you caught up to him?
I caught up to him.
Holy shit, dude.
And then I'm like, I don't want to be like that guy, like, hey, it's me, it's Chris, but then I'm like, I kind of hope he doesn't know it's me,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I caught up to him, and then I'm like, I don't want to pass him. And so I just like stayed behind him until he got off. But yeah, I caught up to him. So he was probably going the
speed limit.
like a good boy.
Yeah, because he's got so much gear in that goddamn van.
He probably
He's
can't.
like,
can't.
I can't even go faster than this.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if they all were like fucking sleeping or if they were.
Probably, dude. It's like, it's not even cars. If I'm sitting down and I've had enough beer, I'm going to sleep. And I don't want to. That's the shit part. I'm like, all right, guys, what do we do? I just pass out. And what sucks for me is when I do that, sometimes I pass out in stupid, uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
So I wake up the next day like, oh,
yeah.
What happened? They're like, dude, you slept on a fence. Like,
so did you make it inside? You sleep on the bench?
I made it inside. You know what's so funny is I remember waking up in my driveway. Like I remember leaving the bar, being like, bye. And then I woke up in my driveway like,
we teleported here.
Shit, dude. And that's when I knew. I'm like, oh, yep, passed out. So then I'm trying to gather all my shit in my bag and like got books and cords and all this stuff. So I'm packing everything in. And I remember specifically being inside, like, fuck, I think I'm gonna order some food. Like, we had that pizza.
Yeah.
And then nothing for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna order some Mexican food. And I ordered Filiberto's or whatever. And I know I got it because I woke up and the food was gone. And it was like by the trash.
Wow.
But when I opened my door, all my shit was still outside. Like my bag and all my books, my game, like everything was outside. I'm like, fuck. I got here, threw my shit on the bench, unlocked the door, ordered food, passed out, and then I just left everything out there. I'm like, fuck, I'm glad the Uber Eats driver didn't fucking steal my Switch and all my shit was just on the bench, like right outside. So that's the one thing. Like I made it in, thankfully, but my stuff did not.
Man, you're a sleep eater.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'll pass out, wake up, eat, and then just go right back to bed. But again, it's not even like me. I know I did it because
Yeah.
I paid for it. No one else was here, and the evidence is there. But I don't remember eating it. Like, I'll just get into like, we call it snack attack. I'm like, dude, snack attack, baby. I'm
I know,
ordering.
we're gonna have to like fucking tie your wrists up like in Moon Knight so you can't.
You just need to fucking, dude, just turn my phone off. Like, just kill the battery, and I'll just be like wandering around like, fuck. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. Because that's the problem is, it don't matter if it's 4 a.m. I can get food if I want.
Yeah, I know.
Someone's gonna bring me food. So my trouble is the fact that it's so easy in the city. Like if I was back in Goodyear, 12-1
Yeah.
tops cut off. Like ain't no one delivering food at fucking 2 in Goodyear. But in Phoenix, man, everyone's awake. Someone's picking someone up from the airport. Someone's, just dropped someone off at work or picked them up. Like that's what I love about Phoenix. Like I can get food anytime I want. Very limited. It's not like New
Sure.
York. I can get Chinese food 24/7.
Right.
But I can get McDonald's and Filiberto's pretty much
Yep.
any hour at any time. I had it I had it yesterday. I woke up and I'm like, carne asada fries for
Yeah.
breakfast. That's happening. But yeah, all right. So we've
Now
got.
I'm hungry.
Oh, me too. I was gonna grab food for us on the way in, but quick little segment. My mom found a kitten. What was it, yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're watching Moon Knight, right? We get through it, disappointed, and we're watching a trailer breakdown, and we're just like hanging out upstairs in the space. And then my mom FaceTimes me, and my mom will text me all the time, but if she's calling me, which her version is FaceTiming, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I know, like, oh fuck, like, she get arrested again? Like, what's happening? So I answer the phone, and she's holding a tiny kitten, like, it's like this
Yeah.
big. It's so small. And I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, I found this kitten. It was under a water pipe or some shit like that. And a water heater. And so now we're like, well, what the fuck do we do? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, what are you gonna keep it? Do we
Yeah.
take it to an adoption spot? And then
Feed it to a snake.
yeah, I was gonna see if she wanted me to go drop off food, but then my brother's like, hey, I'm gonna go and hang out with her. I'll get her formula or whatever. So that happens. It turns out when they get there, they start drinking.
Okay.
And my mom just got a DUI. Our other family member just got a DUI. Everyone's getting DUIs right now. So when they start drinking, my brother's like, I'm not driving.
Nope.
So now they don't have formula, and I wake up at like 2, like 1:45 today, because I was here writing with KRXS and recording with Snoods, and then I went home. And as soon as I got home, I couldn't sleep, and it's like 12:31, so I start writing some more. I don't go to bed till 3, and so I sleep for like 11 hours. I wake up, and my mom's like, we need formula. Like, we didn't get it last night. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? You had so much opportunity to get formula for this kitten that you were trying to save. What happened? So she's like, I need you to come drop off some formula. So I look up food places, pet food places, and there's one on the way to her house, which is in downtown. So I'm like, cool, hit that spot. I go there. It's like a goddamn little warehouse. And I'm like, hey, I need just cat stuff. And they're
Yeah.
like, give me 20 minutes. They have to go digging through this shit, and they come back with like a can of formula or whatever.
Squoze it myself.
And they're like, oh, do you need bottles too? I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I need the formula. Yeah, I don't just got tiny bottles hanging around. So they're like, okay, well, we don't know if we have them. I'm like, okay, can you check? So they check, and the lady who just got the formula is like, well, I don't know if we have them. I looked for them, but I didn't really look for them. I'm like, okay, so they check their inventory. They're like, yeah, we got them. So she goes and she finds that, and I'm like, you know what? This cat just came off the streets. Like, it's a baby.
Yeah.
It lost its mother. It doesn't know how to clean itself. It doesn't have to do anything. let me get it some like shampoo or something. Like, let's clean the cat. We don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck's on this. And my mom already has a cat. So that's the thing. If it was just her, it'd be different. Like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But clean the cat, give it a shower, give it a bath, whatever. And they're like, oh, well, you want that? You're going to need a bottle to dilute it. I'm like,
God damn.
oh my God, dude. And each time they keep having to go back into the thing. And like, I should have just went to PetSmart and been like, give me this, this, and this.
Yeah.
But they were just like, oh, you got this. Do you need this? Hey, do you want to sign up for a card? You want to do this? I'm like, dude, just give me the shit. I gotta go. So I get to my mom's, and of course, she's on the phone with like her work or something. Like, she's in a meeting. I'm like, here's the cat shit, dude. It's a can of formula, a nursing set, a dilution bottle or diluted bottle that you can use to separate, and then the hypoallergenic shampoo shit. And
Jeez.
so because of all that, I'm like, literally, I get to her house. It's 3:00. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta get the fuck out of
I
here.
know this stray cat's setting you back.
I know. Well, fuck, it's her money. I'm like, hey, here's the receipt.
Yeah.
Send me the money because I can't pay for this cat right now. Granted, the cat's really cute. We're gonna go see it later tonight, but still, definitely just threw a wrench in all of the plans. But
That's what they do.
so Moon Knight, or how Khonshu will say, Moon Knight.
Yeah, I know. The end is upon us. You know, it feels like we just started watching it and we're already watched. The final episode was yesterday, and you know, overall, just in case people didn't watch it yet, you know, I feel like overall it was good. You know, I think Marvel is still, I don't know, the season finales have always just been like, okay, nothing like holy shit.
Yeah, nothing except Loki. To me,
Yeah.
Loki, it just hit different. Well, to be honest, Loki and
That had like a real
Falcon and Winter
impact
Soldier.
on everything. Yeah.
Well, Falcon in a way where it introduced a character that is literally directly out of the comic books, like Falcon as Captain America.
Yeah.
It's just something I wasn't prepared to see that soon. I thought there'd be a little bit more build up.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's wrong.
The new
I'm just
suit
saying
and everything. Yeah.
yeah, like when you see that, you're like, holy shit. Like in this one, there was no like, and I thought that I had spotted a glimpse of Moon Knight when he realized it was both of them, that when he suited up, it was different, but it might have just been like the angle, the lighting. I'm not sure. But with Loki, it is the most hands-on, definitive show that had actual like palpable influence to the MCU. The rest of these shows,
I agree.
until Multiverse of Madness, it's just a story. You know,
Right.
Wanda until now, tomorrow, just a story. If we look at Falcon, you know, again, the story-wise, nothing too crazy. Technically, it's a side story where we have the formation of possibly the Thunderbolts. We've got U.S. Agent. We get the kind of spin-off into Hawkeye, where we see, you know, Black Widow's sister. We see her pretty much go into the next show. But this one, it just kind of leaves you where like, what happened, first of all, and what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, the best parts of this show were cut out. And
I agree.
not budgetary.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, we shot them, but we couldn't figure out a way. No, they took a choice to just not have them in the show. And that is the one thing that does not put this above Falcon and Winter Soldier or Loki. It just doesn't, the payoff wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? I would have rather have seen that than have this like build up to the post-credit sequence that we get that did not honestly deserve to be there. I would have rather had nothing than what we got, which is crazy. That's fucking insane. So,
Yeah.
what do you feel about this episode specifically?
Okay, so this one specifically, and I am not sure if this has anything to do with it. Someone else brought it up, and I'm just riding their coattails. But perhaps because it is Disney Plus and still somewhat of kids show, that they cut out all the very graphic stuff because because Jake is the real dirty side of Mark Spector, where it's like Steven is like the good side, the squeaky clean,
Yeah, they call him
innocent.
like the intellect.
Yeah, very like innocent, doesn't want to hurt people, doesn't want to kill people. And so Jake is like who he would turn into when his mom was beating the shit out of him or when he really needed to get rough. And for 5 fucking episodes, it's like they're teasing us, but you're like, well, maybe they're just gonna wait for, another season or whatever. And so it pays off. They wait till the very end, but they do finally acknowledge the third personality, and then it's just kind of it. And we both kind of like talked yesterday, and we watched the breakdown video. Like, this one really felt like a one and done series. Now, that's not to say that they're not planning stuff and they just haven't released what their intentions are, but every other show they leave you like, oh,
there's gonna be a second season. Yeah. And that has something going for it. I think the what I'm trying to look up right now is like the chart that they broke down, but they pretty much say that there's like there's the ID, so it's the person, like the first actual identity.
right.
Then there's the ego, which is something that the ID created, and then there's the super ego, which in our show would be Jake, where it's an ego that created an ego without the ID even knowing. And again, this is rough, so bear with me. But this show is all about dissociative identity disorder. So the fact that we're getting it so late, I mean, it makes sense. They hinted at it towards the whole show. Like, it's supposed to be a big payoff, but in my opinion, I think they should have done this sooner or should have waited until season 2. Because the one thing, honestly, like the main thing besides Layla just so happened to be able to sneak on to like the cult leaders, cars and shit like that. Like, that's whatever. Like, that's fine.
Yeah,
She knows because of Scarab. The one thing that really threw me off is how the main fight, the thing everyone's looking for. It's Wanda versus Agatha. It's Falcon versus the Flag Smashers. It's Loki versus Loki in a way for a little bit. And then, Hawkeye and Hawkeye versus the Russian mobs. They cut that entire scene.
Yeah.
They chose to do a time skip when it's like, this is if you're gonna introduce Jake, do that now. I want to see something. And if it's that violent, one, dumb it down so it can pass for PG-13. But they did say, and they did announce, because with the Netflix shows that got brought to Disney Plus, there's a separate section for them now.
Yeah.
I hope Moon Knight is now, season 2 goes to that section, because you'll never get Jake correct
Right.
without having that, because that means you're always going to have to cut, can't have blood, there can't be, I think we need to see what makes Jake Jake. in order for us to be like, oh, that was worth those scenes not being in there completely. Because in my mind, season 2, I hope episode 1 is every single scene we missed.
Yeah.
And it's just him breaking fucking bones, stabbing people in the neck. Like, I want to see some fucking crazy shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cause even from the first episode, you're like, all right, at some point we're gonna see him falling out of the ice cream truck and him beating the shit out of these fucking kids and stuff. And we never got to see it. And so it's a bit of a letdown. And I mean, I hate to say it, as much as that stuff in the mental institute was cool and definitely like made you think and you didn't see that coming. I felt like they spent too much time on that and not
without
enough,
any payoff. Like I don't know if that's real or not yet. That's what's so frustrating.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people complaining that he's really not in the suit that much. There's 2 whole episodes where you don't technically see him in the suit. There's a flashback and stuff, but I mean, we do get to see some of the gods, and now, you know, there's fucking no gods left. And so there's a lot of stuff they can address if they choose to keep going, if they want to, you know, have Khonshu as the villain now. But I felt like they're just like, let's just put out like a little story, see how people respond, and then we'll kind of come back to it if we need to.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, nonetheless, I mean, I feel like if Oscar Isaac or Ethan Hawke don't get some accolades, you know, then it's a travesty. You know, show-wise, it was good. I mean, I like how they used the music and a lot of weird undertones, and you still don't know if it's all in his head, if they really were in a mental institute or not. Because then it's like now they're like interact with each other. There's 2 fish in the fish bowl, but yet he's still fucking tied up. So is Jake the one fucking going and buying the other
the
fish?
Main ego?
Yeah, like is he the one buying the fish and tying them up still and stuff? So, or is he in control most of the time and they're still kind of trapped in that mental institute type thing?
I don't know, dude. That's the most frustrating part, is there's no confirmation of like a for sure thing.
I know, but I will say, and this is a spoiler, like I thought like, oh, they'll keep Haro alive and everything so they can use him more, and they're like, nope, they fucking killed him, which it's rare that you see fucking a main villain or whatever die.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I'm honestly, with the series in general, besides the last episode, I thought this was amazing. I thought it was really good. But the way that they try to stick the landing, it really starts to fall short to where it's not as bad as Hawkeye, but it almost is.
It's just interesting because we're just a couple of idiots. We don't know the
grand scheme or anything like that.
Yeah, the grand scheme or what goes into the production, what the budget is, what the timeline is, like if they were constricted because of certain shooting schedules or not. But they cut a lot of corners in this. It's pretty apparent to grown-ups, you know, that this was all shot, you know, in very little locations. I mean, they didn't.
A lot of it
all.
was in sound stages and shit like that.
Yeah, like they're in the desert somewhere, but I don't think they're in Egypt. They're definitely not in London.
And they're definitely not. Yeah, they're definitely not in the pyramids.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's some cool shit, but you know, you could tell like they tried to like do it.
They tried to do as much as they could
for
as far as like
small budget or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. And again, we say small budget. We looked it up.
I know
it's not small,
$150 million.
but it is. Again, they're doing what they can with what they have.
Yeah.
So I still liked it. In general, I liked it. I just think that it could have been
because I like her
Executed a little
suit,
bit better.
but then when
Dude, she was the best part of the episode.
when she pulls her wings out, it's like, oh, like it almost like takes you out of the thing.
Because you
like,
can see instantly, you're like, oh, that's fake.
they're like they hurried up and did it real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say my favorite part of the episode is where it's Mr. Knight and Moon Knight going back and forth.
Yeah, that was a trip. Yeah.
That was cool.
I know.
I would sacrifice those 2 episodes with no Moon Knight just for that fight scene any day.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So that's where it makes it
absolutely,
up
and
for me.
I'm sure it took a lot to choreography and stuff to go and do that switch between the suits and the personalities and stuff. I felt like a lot of the budget went to just making Khonshu and Ahmet.
Yeah.
You
Dude, that
know?
shit was crazy. It looked nuts.
Yeah. And, and again, I don't know how much these actors get paid and stuff, but as far as, budget wise and stuff, I felt like production wise, I felt like WandaVision still had
Some of the craziest
the
shit.
best production to go from the different TV eras, and you've got Lizzie Olsen and
And
Paul
you have to
Bettany,
also think
and
too.
you've got Kat Dennings, and you've got the fucking chick from who turns out to be fucking
Monica Rambeau.
and you've got the dude from Ant-Man, so you're getting all these different characters in one
And it was
show.
the first show out of all the shows.
Yeah.
So I feel like they wanted to make sure to be like, hey
Yeah,
guys,
and Catherine Hahn.
just so you know, it's not gonna be cheap.
Right.
Like we're gonna do this right.
Yeah.
So I will say in my rankings, Moon Knight goes it's gonna have to go Hawkeye, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, Moon Knight,
Okay.
WandaVision, Hawkeye.
Okay. And then what if just wherever?
Well, I just don't think what if counts.
Okay. I agree.
You can't, when you put animation into it, you're like, dude, they had zombies. They had an
And-
Ultron vision.
To get all those voice actors, I mean, pretty much other than
Almost
a
everyone
few,
except Robert Downey came back
in Spider-Man.
in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But that Spider-Man kid did so great
Yeah.
that it was like, I thought it was Tom Holland.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what's coming up
Now,
next. Dude,
here's-
tomorrow.
I know.
we see
Here's the
multiverse.
real tough question. I mean, I agree. There was parts of Moon Knight that were actually amazing. Like that suit looks fucking good. Whoever did that, great job. Oscar Isaac, Ethan Hawke, great job. I mean, there's and that chick. I don't know her name,
But Layla, yeah.
Layla,
Did
Egyptian
great.
actress, great job. Like they really are moving the ball
They're
forward.
doing it. They're doing it up as much as they can.
Yeah. So for the most part, it was really good. I agree. It's kind of, not the best, but not the worst. But the real question I have for you is how have the Marvel shows to you compared to Peacemaker?
Okay, so I will say this. Peacemaker, it's doing an amazing job of expanding the DCEU,
Yeah.
but you also have to factor in it's rated R.
Yep.
It's a character that is not just not well known, but is a D list.
Oh yeah.
He's not
So-
like Moon Knight is like a B, if not C, hero in Marvel. Peacemaker is the Guardians of the Galaxy
yeah.
of Marvel.
Where there's no
They're just-
backstory, so you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah, there's some source material, but it's not. I would say this: it's not a household name.
Absolutely.
With that, he has the advantage of being vulgar, extremely violent,
Yeah.
not just a little.
Yeah.
The definition of gore
Yeah.
and almost horror, on top of sexualization,
Yeah. There's some tits.
cursing.
Yep.
I don't think you can compare them.
Okay.
There's no, like, it's not fair.
Right.
It's like trying to fight someone with one arm tied behind your back, and it's like, dude, he still knocked you out.
Yeah.
This guy had he had 4 arms.
Yeah.
This dude had a robot arm. Like, if you were to pretty much think about this, it's not similar, but it's in the same vein. It's like when Marvel releases Deadpool under their name, then we'll have a like, oh shit. Because we already know.
Yeah.
It's either going to be a rated R movie or a PG-13 movie censored, but still in like the theme of rated R, or they'll do what they did last time, a rated R plus an PG-13, or they'll just go Disney Plus on these people and give us a rated R Deadpool show. We won't know until it happens.
Wow.
So, in my opinion, I just can't compare the two, because if we were to see the scenes that we couldn't because of the rating,
Yeah.
it'd be really fucking tough. I mean, I laughed almost just as much during Moon Knight as I did during Peacemaker, and they weren't even like Peacemaker was trying to make jokes, and there were
Yeah.
a couple that definitely didn't land, but I could like, okay, you're having fun.
Yeah.
Moon Knight, you can just tell by the actor in general, and nothing against John Cena, but Oscar Isaac would make choices that were funny, but weren't like supposed to be like, oh, like slapstick. It was just
Yeah.
like, oh, that's funny. Like, yeah, I just can't compare the two. There's no way for me to find an even line. And it's also being like, dude, imagine Peacemaker if they didn't cuss or
Right.
didn't show
Yeah.
gore.
Yeah.
How good would that be?
Yeah. Then you're stuck with that fucking. What's that that villain, that little guy?
Oh, Judo
Yeah,
Master.
then you're just stuck with Judo Master.
So again, it's like until they come up with an R-rated
and I mean,
show,
and
I can't do
Peacemaker
it.
got 8 episodes, whereas I feel like if we had
This could have done 2 more
if
easily.
we had 2 more, ooh boy, we could have told a really good story there.
Yeah, they're in this weird 6 because we broke it down the other day or yesterday. Each episode is getting anywhere from $10 to $15 million per, not including media or promotions and all that stuff. So we're looking about $100 million, $150 million shows, where Peacemaker, I think, may have been in the same realm, but they knew we need 8. We can't do 6.
Yeah.
Imagine Peacemaker in 6 episodes.
No
It wouldn't
way.
work. It
Yeah.
would not work. Even the last episode felt a little rushed. A
Yeah.
little, but not enough
Yeah,
to be
because
like
I mean, James Gunn
insane.
even said most of his budget went to that
Last episode.
which is clear,
But I
'cause it
never
was so
felt
good.
once during the show like, slacked on that CGI. Where in
Yeah.
Moon Knight, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I could see where you.
No, you could tell because James Gunn made choices, so that's why there's a couple episodes where not much happened.
Yeah.
For
Or it was just practical.
yeah, it was
where
like
it wasn't
it
like
was-
anything crazy.
It was flashbacks to his when he was a kid and he killed his brother and his dad was such an asshole
yeah.
and stuff. I mean, it was just not that Moon Knight's not well written as well, because it is.
Yeah,
But-
but the spacing and timing of
Yeah.
Peacemaker was so good because it had 8 episodes. I mean, we haven't had that since WandaVision, right?
And
Everything else
WandaVision
has been
doesn't
6.
count because
The first 3 episodes don't even fucking matter.
because there is fucking Dick Van Dyke and
Yeah.
and stuff. So they're like, we can't do an hour long, 45-minute Dick Van Dyke show. So
Yeah.
they kept it short just to kind of get you like, oh, what the fuck's going on?
Exactly.
And
No.
and then even WandaVision got cut short. Like there was supposed to be more stuff that happened.
Yeah.
And
I think they're both still figuring out like how much do we need and how much can we get away with. I think that's the big
And
thing that's
so-
going on between the two.
I think Miss Marvel or She-Hulk has got to be what's next. I don't even think they've
It's Miss
announced-
Marvel because She-Hulk has had one teaser trailer. Miss Marvel
Oh,
has
yeah.
a full out trailer.
That's right.
So I'm
okay.
pretty sure that's what's next.
Neither one of them are next week. I know that. But,
No.
but
A couple months away.
so we'll see. I know. I liked it when they were boom right after each other. but we'll see what because now we can't use the fucking pandemic as an excuse.
Yeah, everything has been
can't-
shot with production schedules post pandemic.
Yeah.
So everything should be
Yeah.
there's no excuse, like you
I
said.
know.
There's
I
no
mean,
reason to be
Spider-Man
slacking.
made $1 billion. Doctor Strange is gonna make $1 billion, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's
problem.
we know there's a fucking audience, so don't act like, well, we'll see how it goes. You know, especially with fucking Disney, they're on a fucking kick right now. They got Star Wars and the Marvel shit.
Dude, they're on a goddamn roll, and they just introduced the Disney Plus mature section.
I know.
So that's a whole different avenue that they can
Yeah,
utilize. But
good.
yeah, comment, let us know what you guys thought of the finale, the show in general. We're gonna go see Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness
Yep,
tomorrow.
so hit us up about that. Let us know if you're planning on seeing it or if you're gonna wait until it comes out on streaming.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it next week. We'll give you guys a week
Oh yeah.
to be able to check it out.
Yep. And then let us know if you want to come and eat some pizza with us. So
We need some volunteers.
I know. God, I'm so fucking hungry.
It's more pizza talk than fucking comic books this episode.
I know. Well, no. I mean, can't really think. Oh yeah, one thing I was gonna say, Guyver, is that we might have to go see Top Gun in the theater because
Oh, really?
the reviews have been amazing.
Dude, I want to see Top Gun and Northman then.
Yeah.
So next check, I want to get those passes so we can go see a bunch of movies. And so anytime one movie looks even remotely interesting, let's just go, dude.
Yeah,
We'll
because
have-
I mean, shit.
We'll
dude,
have the fucking tickets.
I'll see any movie.
Oh,
I
dude, I'll
mean,
go see fucking. I'm about to go see Sonic 2 tomorrow.
Yeah,
So like, I'll watch anything, especially in a movie, in a theater.
yeah, because we finally get Top Gun, so I feel like that's gonna live up to all the expectation, and then
Tom
You kn-
Cruise looking like a time traveling demon,
yeah,
not aging.
he's something else. Yeah, and then we've got Thor to look forward to after that. So, oh goodness! All right, thanks everybody. We love you, and we'll see you.
See you next week.
See you next week.